What if everything they did to hold you back became the foundation of your unshakable strength? Today, we'll uncover how focusing on yourself, not them, can change everything. Stick around. These Stoic principles could transform your life forever. In our noisy world, distractions are endless, and we often let external forces dictate our lives. But what if the key to thriving is focusing on yourself every single day? Today, I'll share 5 Stoic strategies that will empower you, no matter what they throw at you. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and comment Stoic below to declare your commitment to resilience and self-mastery. The first sign, regular self-examination. Comment with reflect if this resonates with your journey. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, wrote extensively in his personal journal, questioning himself daily. What am I doing with my soul? His journal, now known as Meditations, was not meant for others. It was a private dialogue with himself. Through this practice, Marcus created a space to examine his thoughts, actions, and decisions without fear of judgment or external influence. This act of daily introspection became the foundation of his resilience and leadership, even during a time of war and plague. Regular self-reflection is not just about evaluating your actions, but understanding your deeper motives and intentions. It is the deliberate act of pausing and asking, am I living in alignment with my values? Am I reacting to life's challenges? Or am I responding with reason and purpose? When we take time to reflect, we create a buffer between ourselves and the chaos of the world. This pause allows us to observe our emotions, question their origin, and choose our responses wisely. Think of it as steering a ship. Without reflection, the storms of life, criticism, setbacks, the judgments of others, can push you off course. But with regular self-examination, you hold the helm firmly. You decide which winds to harness and which to resist. You determine the direction of your life, ensuring you don't drift aimlessly towards someone else's destination. Start your day with a few simple questions. What did I do well yesterday? Where did I fall short? How can I do better today? This habit not only cultivates self-awareness, but also builds a sense of accountability to yourself. It reminds you that progress isn't about perfection, but about consistent effort. Each morning, Marcus Aurelius would remind himself, when you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. By starting with gratitude and self-examination, he aligned his actions with his highest aspirations. As modern individuals, we often let the opinions and actions of others dictate our emotions and decisions. The ancient Stoics would see this as a tragic loss of autonomy. To them, the mind is a fortress, a place that, if well defended, cannot be conquered. Epictetus taught his students that no external force could disturb their peace unless they allowed it. If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation, he said. Reflecting on this truth daily can liberate us from the chains of external validation. Make this practice tangible. Set aside a few minutes each morning or evening to write down your thoughts. Ask yourself probing questions about your day and your aspirations. For example, you might explore, why did I feel frustrated in that situation? Was I too attached to an outcome? How can I approach it differently next time? The beauty of self-examination lies in its ability to illuminate your patterns, both constructive and destructive. By understanding these patterns, you gain clarity on what truly matters to you. You stop living reactively and start living intentionally. Every reflection becomes an opportunity to adjust your course, ensuring that your actions align with the person you want to become. The philosopher Seneca beautifully described this process when he advised, "At the end of the day, I examine my conscience. I review my actions and words. I conceal nothing from myself and pass judgment on myself." This practice isn't about self-condemnation, but about self-improvement. It's about being honest with yourself so you can grow stronger and wiser each day. Reflection is your weapon against the distractions and manipulations of the world. When others try to sway you with their opinions, when they impose their expectations on you, reflection is how you reclaim your autonomy. It's how you remind yourself that your worth and purpose come from within, not from the validation of others. Imagine how empowering it would feel to face each day with clarity and conviction. To know, without a doubt, that you are living according to your values and principles. To wake up each morning with a clear sense of purpose and go to bed each night with the satisfaction of knowing you gave your best. That is the gift of regular self-examination. It's not just a practice, it's a path to inner freedom. The second sign, accepting the present moment. Comment with accept if this aligns with your path. Stoicism teaches that the key to inner peace lies in accepting the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. This principle is rooted in one of the most powerful lessons from Epictetus, who advised, don't demand that things happen as you wish. Wish them to happen as they do, and you will go well. These words hold a transformative truth. Most of our suffering comes not from the events themselves, but from our refusal to accept them. Consider how much energy is wasted fighting reality. We lament the actions of others, the setbacks in our careers, or the difficulties in our relationships, as though railing against these circumstances could change them. But Stoicism invites us to shift our focus from what is beyond our control to what lies firmly within it, our perspective. This is not about resignation or passivity. It is about reclaiming your power by choosing how you respond to the inevitable twists and turns of life. Imagine someone trying to provoke you. Perhaps they criticize your efforts or dismiss your achievements. Their words are beyond your control, but your reaction is entirely yours. Will you allow their negativity to disturb your peace? Or will you, as Marcus Aurelius advised, receive it as if it were merely the noise of barking dogs? Accepting the present moment means recognizing that their actions reflect their character, not yours. This practice requires courage and clarity. The courage to confront reality, even when it is painful, and the clarity to discern what is within your power to change. Marcus Aurelius captured this dynamic beautifully when he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. When we fully embrace this mindset, the world's chaos loses its grip on us. We become like a sturdy tree in a storm, flexible enough to sway with the wind, yet deeply rooted and unshakable. Acceptance is especially vital when facing challenges or loss. Suppose you encounter a professional setback, a missed promotion, a failed project. The initial sting of disappointment is natural, but clinging to resentment or self-pity only deepens the wound. Instead, the Stoics would counsel you to ask, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to grow stronger? By accepting the present moment, you transform adversity into an opportunity for growth. This lesson extends to the grandest and smallest moments of life. Epictetus taught his students to view every event, no matter how mundane, as part of a greater design. Is it your allotted part in the world's destiny that upsets you? Be calm and remember, either providence directs the world, or there is nothing but unguided atoms. Whether you see life as divinely guided or shaped by chance, the principle remains the same. Accept what is and act with purpose within it. To practice this in your daily life, begin by observing your thoughts when something doesn't go your way. Notice the stories you tell yourself. This shouldn't have happened, or why me? Recognize these thoughts for what they are, resistance to reality. Then gently remind yourself of the Stoic wisdom. This moment, no matter how unwelcome, is here. Accept it and decide how to move forward with dignity and reason. Acceptance also allows us to live fully in the present. How often do we dwell on the past, replaying mistakes or missed opportunities, as if we could rewrite them? Or worry about the future, imagining scenarios that may never come to pass? Stoicism teaches us that both past and future are illusions. Only the present moment is real, and it is within this moment that our power lies. Seneca, one of Stoicism's great teachers, warned against the folly of living in the past or future. You are living as if destined to live forever. Your own frailty never occurs to you. You don't notice how much time has already passed, but squander it as though you had a full and overflowing supply. By accepting the present moment, we reclaim our most precious resource, time. When others try to drag you into their chaos, through gossip, drama, or negativity, acceptance becomes your shield. You don't have to engage. Their storm doesn't have to become yours. Instead, focus on what is real and actionable in your life. Stay rooted in the calm certainty that comes from knowing you are responsible only for yourself. Acceptance is not an easy practice, especially in a culture that encourages constant striving and comparison. But it is a liberating one. It allows you to release the weight of what you cannot change and to channel your energy into what truly matters. Every time you accept the present moment, you reclaim your power. You choose peace over conflict, clarity over confusion, and wisdom over frustration. That is the essence of Stoic resilience, and it is available to you in every moment. If you are willing to embrace it, adversity isn't your downfall. It's the training ground for greatness. But the most transformative Stoic lessons are yet to come. If this resonates, hit the notifications bell and let's keep this journey going. The third sign, setting realistic, controlled goals. Comment with focus if this inspires you. In the modern world, we're often pushed to chase goals that aren't truly our own. We feel pressure to meet societal expectations, impress peers, or follow a path that seems successful on the surface but leaves us unfulfilled. The Stoics warned against this trap. They recognized that chasing external rewards, status, wealth, or fame often leads to frustration and emptiness. Instead, they advised focusing on goals that are aligned with our values and, most importantly, within our control. Seneca wrote, "Fate leads the willing and drags the unwilling." This quote is a profound reminder that life is far less chaotic when we align ourselves with nature and the flow of events. Setting realistic, controlled goals means creating a life that harmonizes with our true selves, rather than being dragged along by the expectations or whims of others. What does this look like in practice? First, it means understanding the distinction between what is within your power and what is not. Epictetus often emphasized this concept, stating that we control our actions, choices, and intentions, but not the outcomes. For instance, if you set a goal to be promoted at work, the promotion itself is outside your control. It depends on the decisions of others. However, preparing diligently, doing excellent work, and maintaining professionalism are entirely within your power. By focusing on these controllable elements, you build a sense of agency and peace, regardless of the result. Controlled goals also ensure that your efforts are sustainable. In our fast-paced culture, we're bombarded with messages glorifying endless hustle and ambition. Yet this constant striving can lead to burnout and disconnection from what truly matters. Setting realistic goals isn't about limiting yourself, but about pacing your journey wisely. Imagine a runner in a marathon. They don't sprint the entire way. Instead, they measure their pace, conserving energy to reach the finish line. Your goals should function the same way, challenging yet attainable, so they inspire growth without exhausting your spirit. This philosophy extends beyond personal success to how we contribute to the world around us. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on his duties as both a philosopher and an emperor. He wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one." His goals were rooted not in abstract ideals but in actionable steps, serving the greater good, leading with integrity, and fulfilling his responsibilities with diligence. When you set goals based on your values, they act as a compass, guiding your actions even amidst life's uncertainties. Think about the areas of your life where you felt most fulfilled, moments when you achieved something meaningful not because it impressed others but because it resonated deeply with your sense of purpose. Those are the kinds of goals worth pursuing, the ones that reflect your truest self. Stoicism also encourages us to break larger goals into smaller, manageable steps. This approach makes even the loftiest ambitions feel achievable. Seneca advised, "Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life." By treating each day as an opportunity to take one small step toward your larger vision, you create momentum and avoid feeling overwhelmed. Controlled goals are also a defense against distractions and comparisons. When others flaunt their accomplishments or criticize your progress, having a clear sense of your path helps you stay grounded. You no longer measure success by external standards, but by your own commitment to your journey. Remember, it's not their opinion that defines your worth. It's your alignment with your values. To truly embody this Stoic principle, pause and reflect on your current goals. Are they truly yours, or have they been shaped by others' expectations? Do they reflect your values, or are they rooted in fear of judgment or failure? If they feel misaligned, it's never too late to recalibrate. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, at dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, remind yourself, I am rising to do the work of a human being. Your goals should energize you in this way, calling you to rise and act with purpose. When you set realistic, controlled goals, you reclaim your power. You stop living according to other scripts and start creating your own. You align your actions with your deepest values, ensuring that every step you take is meaningful. That is the Stoic way to live intentionally, not by chance or compulsion. As you go forward, let your goals be a reflection of your best self. Let them guide you with clarity and conviction, no matter what obstacles you encounter. Choose your path wisely, and let no one else define it. The fourth sign, practicing gratitude. Comment with gratitude if this feels right for you. In life's most chaotic moments, practicing gratitude offers a quiet yet profound power. It reclaims our attention and roots us in the present. Gratitude, as the Stoics saw it, is not just an emotion but a practice, a deliberate effort to recognize and appreciate the abundance we already possess. Marcus Aurelius urged himself to think often of the blessings you possess, a reminder that even amid life's trials, we can find reasons to be thankful. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we already have. Consider how much of your mental energy is consumed by wanting a better job, a larger home, or even a more comfortable life. The Stoics were deeply aware of this tendency, warning that unchecked desires lead only to dissatisfaction. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." Practicing gratitude breaks this cycle. It redirects our attention away from the endless pursuit of external things and toward the inner wealth we often overlook. Think of the most basic blessings in your life: the air you breathe, the food you eat, the roof over your head. These are treasures that, in their simplicity, we often take for granted. But for the Stoics, even these small blessings were profound. Epictetus, a former slave, taught his students to acknowledge the beauty in the mundane. A sunrise, the taste of water, the companionship of a friend. Gratitude transforms these ordinary moments into sources of joy and contentment. Gratitude is also an act of defiance against chaos. When life feels overwhelming, when the demands of work, relationships, and responsibilities pile up, it's easy to spiral into frustration and despair. But gratitude interrupts that spiral. It forces us to pause and ask, what is still good? What remains strong, even now? This simple question can shift our entire perspective. Even in the darkest moments, there is something to be grateful for. The lesson learned from a challenge, the support of a loved one, or the resilience you've shown in the face of adversity. Practicing gratitude does not mean denying hardship or pretending everything is perfect. The Stoics were no strangers to suffering. They faced war, exile, and personal loss. Yet, they chose to focus on what was within their control, starting with their own mindset. Marcus Aurelius, writing during times of plague and political turmoil, still found space to marvel at the small wonders of life. He described the dew on a blade of grass, the way bread cracks in the oven, and the beauty of human creativity. These reflections were not trivial. They were his way of grounding himself amid the chaos. This practice also has a protective quality. Gratitude shields you from the bitterness and envy that can arise when you compare yourself to others. In today's world of social media and constant connectivity, it's easy to fall into the trap of measuring your life against curated images of success and happiness. But gratitude reminds you that your journey is unique, and your blessings are enough. They cannot take your gratitude from you. It is yours alone. To integrate gratitude into your life, start with a simple daily ritual. At the end of each day, reflect on 3 things you are grateful for. They don't have to be monumental. In fact, the smaller, the better. Maybe it's the warmth of your morning coffee, the laughter you shared with a friend, or the quiet strength you found to persevere through a difficult task. Writing these down anchors you in the positive and trains your mind to seek the good, even when it feels hidden. Gratitude also deepens your connection to others. When you express genuine thanks to the people in your life, You not only strengthen those relationships, but also remind yourself of the community that supports you. Seneca emphasized this reciprocal nature of gratitude, noting that it binds us together in mutual appreciation and respect. Finally, gratitude gives us the perspective to face life's challenges with resilience. When you cultivate a mindset of thankfulness, setbacks lose their sting. You see them not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities to grow. You recognize that even in difficulty, there is a chance to learn and emerge stronger. By practicing gratitude, you reclaim your power. You stop allowing external circumstances to dictate your emotions and begin to find joy in the present moment. You build a fortress of appreciation that no chaos can penetrate. And in doing so, you align yourself with the Stoic ideal. A life of contentment, purpose, and inner peace. And now, the ultimate Stoic principle, the one that separates the resilient from the broken. This last sign will completely shift how you face life's challenges. Stay with me. This is the most important lesson. The fifth sign, turning adversity into strength. The Stoics saw obstacles not as setbacks but as opportunities. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest exemplars of Stoic resilience, famously wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This profound insight captures the essence of the Stoic mindset. The challenges we face are not barriers. They are the very path to growth and greatness. Adversity is inevitable. Life is unpredictable. And no matter how carefully we plan, we will encounter difficulties. People will try to undermine you. Circumstances will seem insurmountable. Plans will go awry. Yet, for the Stoic, these moments are not cause for despair but opportunities to exercise courage, patience, and creativity. Each obstacle becomes a chance to practice virtue and to strengthen the soul. Imagine a craftsman working with flawed material. Instead of discarding it, they find ways to transform the imperfections into a unique, beautiful creation. This is how the Stoics approached life. Every hardship, no matter how painful or unfair, was seen as raw material to be shaped into something meaningful. Marcus Aurelius didn't just write about this concept, he lived it. As emperor, he faced invasions, betrayal, and personal loss. Yet he used each trial to refine his character and lead with wisdom. Turning adversity into strength begins with a shift in perspective. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself, what is this moment trying to teach me? How can I grow from this? For the Stoics, even the harshest difficulties were seen as a kind of training. Epictetus, born a slave and later crippled, believed that the universe presents us with exactly the situations we need to develop our inner strength. Difficulties are things that show a person who they truly are, he taught. Adversity reveals our character, but it also gives us the opportunity to improve it. This mindset transforms how we approach setbacks. Instead of fearing failure, we begin to see it as a natural part of the journey. Failure becomes feedback, a way of learning what doesn't work so we can discover what does. The Stoics understood that resilience is not the absence of struggle, but the ability to endure and grow through it. Each time you face a setback and rise again, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than the obstacle. Consider the challenges in your own life, the moments when you felt tested beyond your limits. Perhaps it was the loss of a job, a strained relationship, or a personal goal that seemed out of reach. While these experiences may have been painful, they likely shaped you in profound ways. They taught you lessons about perseverance, resourcefulness, and the strength you didn't know you had. This is the essence of Stoicism. Not avoiding adversity, but using it to forge a deeper, more resilient version of yourself. The Stoics also understood that turning adversity into strength requires action. It is not enough to accept a challenge passively. We must engage with it actively. When faced with a difficult situation, take a moment to pause and reflect, but then ask, what is the next right step? Action, no matter how small, creates momentum and prevents us from becoming paralyzed by fear or doubt. As Seneca wrote, a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a person perfected without trials. Even when the situation seems dire, there is always something you can do. It may not be immediately obvious, but the act of seeking solutions, of working through the problem, is itself transformative. The The process of overcoming adversity builds confidence, not just in your ability to solve problems, but in your capacity to endure. Another powerful aspect of the Stoic approach is its emphasis on gratitude in the face of hardship. This may seem counterintuitive, but the Stoics believed that challenges are gifts in disguise. They force us to confront our weaknesses, to develop new skills, and to grow in ways we never would have otherwise. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to receive what happens as if you had wished for it. This doesn't mean wishing for suffering, but recognizing that every experience, good or bad, is an opportunity to align with nature and live according to virtue. Imagine every roadblock they place in your path becoming your stepping stone. This perspective turns life into a game, where each challenge is a puzzle to solve, each setback a chance to learn. When you adopt this mindset, you become unstoppable. You are no longer defined by what happens to you, but by how you choose to respond. But how do you master this mindset completely? The answer lies in consistent practice. It's not enough to understand these principles intellectually. They must become part of how you live each day. The Stoics believed in preparing for adversity through mental exercises, such as imagining worst-case scenarios and rehearsing how they would respond. This practice, known as premeditatio malorum or premeditation of evils, helps you build resilience before challenges arise. The journey to mastering this mindset is not easy, but it is profoundly rewarding. As you practice turning adversity into strength, you will notice a shift in how you experience life's difficulties. They will no longer feel like insurmountable obstacles, but like stepping stones on your path to growth. You will begin to see yourself not as a victim of circumstances, but as a creator of opportunities. This is the ultimate Stoic trait, the ability to thrive in adversity, to turn what was meant to break you into the very thing that makes you stronger. In the next video, we'll explore practical strategies to cultivate this mindset and live with unshakable resilience. Click below to continue your Stoic journey, and remember, what stands in the way becomes the way. Not long ago, I found myself overwhelmed by the weight of external pressures. Expectations loomed over me, imposed by others who believed they knew what was best for my life. Criticism followed closely behind, some of it constructive but much of it cutting, aimed not to build but to tear down. And then there were acts of outright sabotage, deliberate attempts to undermine my efforts and derail my progress. It felt as though the world around me was conspiring to strip away my sense of purpose and direction. In those moments, it was easy to slip into despair. I caught myself replaying negative thoughts. Why is this happening to me? What did I do to deserve this? It was a spiral, one that many of us know too well. The more I focused on the unfairness of the situation, the more powerless I felt. I was giving away my energy to forces I couldn't control, allowing others to shape my narrative. Then, almost by accident, I came across the writings of the Stoics. Something in their words spoke to a deeper part of me, a part that yearned for clarity and strength. I read about Marcus Aurelius, who bore the weight of an entire empire yet found solace and guidance in his personal reflections. I discovered Epictetus, who endured a life of slavery and hardship but cultivated a mindset of freedom through self-mastery. And Seneca, who reminded me that even in the darkest times, our minds are our sanctuary. I began to apply their principles, starting with self-examination. At first, it was uncomfortable to look inward and confront the truth about how much I had allowed others' opinions to shape my decisions. But as I reflected daily, asking questions like, what are my true values? What am I living for? The fog began to lift. I realized that much of my anxiety came from trying to live up to expectations that were never truly mine. In seeking validation from others, I had strayed from my own path. Self-examination was like holding up a mirror to my soul, and what I saw was a person yearning for freedom and authenticity. Acceptance followed naturally. Once I identified what was beyond my control, I stopped fighting it. I couldn't change the criticisms or undo the sabotage, but I could change how I reacted. Epictetus's words became my mantra. It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Instead of wasting energy on the actions of others, I focused on my own responses. I embraced the present moment for what it was, not what I wished it to be. That acceptance gave me a sense of peace I hadn't felt in years. The next step was setting goals, not the kind dictated by others, but ones that aligned with my values and were within my control. I decided to prioritize growth over perfection, progress over approval. My goals became less about achieving specific outcomes and more about building habits and taking meaningful steps each day. For the first time, I felt a sense of ownership over my journey. Remember, your focus is your power. What they do is irrelevant. How you respond is everything. If this message resonated with you, like, subscribe, and activate all notifications so we can continue building this Stoic journey together. Comment unbreakable if you're ready to focus on yourself every day